Hello, everyone. I'm Roseanne Haven.
And I'm Devin Walsh. We are interrupting your program this afternoon as you have been hearing about the tragic death of Mobile police officer Sean Tuder. The Gulf Coast heartbreak broken over the death of this young officer. And right now, the Mobile Police Department is escorting his body from the Department of Forensic Sciences to Mobile Memorial Gardens Funeral Home.
Yes, we are getting ready to watch that procession. We will have total coverage for you this afternoon. We are also online live and interrupting your coverage for this, and I couldn't quite make out what our producer was trying to tell me there.
Yeah, so we are also live on WKRG.com as well as Facebook Live. So we are beginning the procession with Mobile Police. You can see there on the right side of your screen, Mobile Police vehicles are just leaving the Department of Forensic Science with the body, with the hearse, carrying the body of young 30-year-old officer Sean Tuder, who was killed last night in a tragic shooting there at Peach Place Inn Apartments.
It's just so hard to believe that 11 months to the day from when Justin Billa, Officer Billa, was killed in the line of duty, that here we are again. And certainly the Mobile community is coming out in full force. We've been talking with so many people who've never met this police officer, this young man who leaves behind a young wife. But the outpouring of support is there as we all hurt along with these Mobile police officers. All law enforcement across the Gulf Coast and across the country are all hurting today.
So we are looking at this live picture. That procession of cars has left the Department of Forensic Sciences, which is right near USA Medical Center. So traffic will be disrupted throughout Mobile just for a little while as that procession makes its way past USA Medical Center, then down Spring Hill Avenue, and they will be getting on I-65.
They will be getting on I-65 southbound, traveling to Interstate 10 West, Interstate 10 to Range Line Road, proceeding to Government Boulevard, Government Boulevard to 3 Notch Road, ending at Mobile Memorial Gardens Funeral Home. As you can see, the procession moving there, taking Officer Tudor's body to Memorial Gardens Funeral Home this afternoon.
You know, and Roseanne, after he was killed yesterday late afternoon, when an ambulance carried his body to the Department of Forensic Sciences, so many people came out, vehicles pulled over and stopped on the side of the road to salute this young officer, and we expect that to be the case today. Look at these Mobile police officers saluting their comrade who was killed too soon.
Way too soon. We had I noticed where a Baldwin County deputy posted last night, who was absolutely heartbroken, as we all are. He said, "Please stop killing my family."
I know, and that's the thing. It is a family in blue, and we have seen so many tributes on Facebook today to this young officer. So many people just trying to wrap their arms around police officers, sheriffs, deputies, law enforcement officers, really in our area and around this country, to give them the appreciation they deserve for such a dangerous job that they do every single day to keep us safe.
And they do it for the love of the job. They are passionate. They love what they do. As we've mentioned before, it's not for monetary gain. They truly love what they do, and we've heard that from the family of Officer Tuder, where they said he was a patriot. They said the family at this time appreciates the outpour of thoughts, prayers, and support over the loss of our beloved Sean. At this time, the family asks for privacy as we are devastated and trying to cope. Sean loved his family in this country and knew this was a chance. He is our hero and a patriot. We are proud of him and have no other comment at this time. We ask for continued prayers for his wife and family, and we certainly are praying for them and all of our men and women in blue this afternoon.
Now you are taking a live look right now from WKRG's news vehicle. News 5's Dana Winter and photographer Arnell Hamilton are in the procession right now, and let's go to Dana. Dana, what a boy, just to watch this tribute taking place in all of these vehicles, it just touches your heart.
There are a lot of vehicles out here in the procession, Devin, and as well as a lot of people we're noticing standing on the sides of the street, people who have come out to pay their respects to Officer Tuder and, of course, his whole family. Like I said, a lot of people in this procession. We're actually coming up on the hospital here on the left side of the car. I'm going to want you all to take a look at this just to see the large amount of people here on the left side of the street as we get up to the hospital. There are a lot of people out here paying their respects to Officer Tuder. We're actually getting up to those people just about now. You'll start seeing them come into frame, but a lot of officers out here in this procession, a lot of people as well. Many people watching on, a few people shedding tears as well this afternoon. Everyone out here to pay their respects to the officer who lost his life last night.
Oh my gosh, Dana, that just, oh, look at all of those medical professionals there. You can see doctors and nurses, so many people in scrubs, taking this moment out of their day to stand there and just to say thank you to this officer. We know last night that he was rushed to Providence Hospital, but certainly USA, being the level 1 trauma center that it is, this hits home for them. They've seen this before, and it breaks their heart, and that's just very touching to see all of those medical professionals outside as his ambulance goes by.
Certainly this community will come together. It always does. And unfortunately, we've had to experience that too often in Mobile, as we heard the police chief just in disbelief that another officer within a year that he has lost. And, you know, I can't help but think of Justin Billa's wife and how she said how the community came together, how much that got them through it, and how she has said that the family of the men in blue, men and women in blue, they do not walk alone.
And Dana, you must feel that out there with that many people coming out to watch this procession, and so many law enforcement vehicles there in that line where you are.
Definitely, Devin. You know, it's really heartbreaking to see the whole community coming together like this. It's a very beautiful and sad thing. So many officers out here, and everyone took off their hats saluting the ambulance with Officer Tuder in it as it drove by. We're actually coming up on another group of people on the sides of the street as we're driving by. We'll see people out paying their respects, thanking the officer who did so much for their community. Here we've got a few people on the sides of the street, but it's really touching to see how many people have come out to pay their respects to this officer and his family.
Okay, so Dana, just so you have not gotten to Spring Hill Avenue yet. You guys just passed USA Medical Center, and I know you're making your way to a major intersection there at Mobile Street and Spring Hill Avenue. So officers have actually shut that intersection down, so keep that in mind if you're watching this and you're needing to go down Spring Hill Avenue, or you're going to be on the interstate in the next few minutes, or you know someone who will be. You will be impacted by this police procession because they are going to be shutting down those major intersections as this goes by.
Dana, can you tell us specifically
Devin, like you were saying, with these... Right now, we are at Mobile Street and Frederick Street. They've shut down the streets here, as you see. Some people, as they're noticing the procession going by, they're getting out of their cars, putting a hand over their heart in a showing of respect for the officer. People, once they notice the procession going by, a lot of them, like I said, getting out of their cars, showing their respect to the officer. A lot of people noticing that the procession is happening. Several people taking videos with their phones as well, but a lot of people here. It's definitely surprising, not surprising I'd say, but a beautiful showing of just the Gulf Coast community and how close it is. Here we are, we're coming up to this intersection now. I believe this would be the intersection you, Devin, and Roseanne were talking about. A pretty busy intersection, and the department has it closed down for the procession. You can see many people around here. And there's a woman on the side of the street with an American flag as well. And here is the procession going up this street now.
Paying tribute to a true patriot.
That's right, with his family calling him a true patriot. Again, this is that major intersection there at Spring Hill Avenue and Mobile Street. Now they are in the Crichton area. As you just saw, Roseanne, Mobile Fire Rescue. I mean, they consider police officers their brothers and sisters as well. So that was beautiful to see that fire truck with those fire department officers. They're standing there with their hands over their heart.
Him holding the flag, waving the flag. All first responders are brothers
Roseanne,
and
Devin,
sisters.
that flag was actually one of the police flags with the blue stripe in it, showing respect for the officers. We've been seeing a few of those along our route as well.
And a real tribute as we see people of all ages coming out there. We just saw a man in a wheelchair.
And look at those people just standing there with that American flag. And you know, we saw so many more of those American flags that you referenced, Roseanne, and Dana, with the blue stripe after the death of Justin Billa. You know, in his death, he brought so many people together and really shined the spotlight on what these officers and the risks they take every single day. It really does. He really did bring people together. It's sad that it had to take a death to do that. But if that's one thing that he could know right now is what he has done for so many people, and we're seeing this now with Officer Tuder.
What are you wowing, Dana? What are you saying?
Roseanne, Devin, take a look at this. All these people have American flags on paper that we're driving by. Such a beautiful showing of this community. All of these people out with flags showing their respect for the officer. And as we continue driving down this street, you see so many people on the sides of the street out here to pay their respects. Just so many people on the right and the left side of the street as well.
At that. So this is great for these other officers to see too that they are not alone in their mourning. The people, this community supports law enforcement and our first responders, and when you see something like this, we hope they feel that this helps them in their time of mourning.
Oh, you and I feel it as we're sitting here watching it. This is what Mobile is. This is our community. These are the people who show love for one another and back the blue.
That is exactly right. So we are watching this live with you as this procession makes its way down Spring Hill Avenue. They just passed the split there at Moffett Road. So in about probably less than half a mile, they'll be taking a left onto I-65 and making their way toward I-10.
That's right, I-65 south to I-10 west, I-10 to Range Line Road, proceeding to Government Boulevard to Three Notch Road, ending at Mobile Memorial Gardens Funeral Home there on Three Notch Road. And you just, I keep thinking of his wife and his family, who yesterday morning, or when he set out to go to work, he had his future ahead of him, his future with his beautiful wife, and now he's being escorted to Mobile Memorial Gardens Funeral Home. The sacrifices our men and women make every day, and they do it passionately and selflessly.
They do, you're right. Yesterday probably started just like a normal day for him and for his wife, Chrissy, who is just beautiful. Newlyweds, they haven't been married that long. And she received that call that, as Aaron Billa describes, no wife would want to receive. Look at these police officers. They are saluting fellow officer Sean Tuder as his body goes by. But she received that call that no one would ever want to receive, that just doesn't almost seem real, that her husband had been killed doing something that he did every single day.
Doing something he loved, and yet every family member of law enforcement officers, when they kiss their loved one goodbye in the morning, at night, whenever they go into work, it's always in the back of their mind what could happen.
You know, when we had a chance to speak with Officer Ben Torninsky, who was shot in the line of duty last month, he said that he made a point every single day to tell his wife and kids that he loved them, because he never knew. He honestly never knew if it would be his last day, and he knew how lucky he was. He was shot in the shoulder, but has survived and is doing well and will be returning to the force in some capacity. And you can see here, this is a major intersection at Spring Hill Avenue and I-65. And News 5's Dana Winter in the news car there. And Dana, that intersection is shut down as you guys make your way onto the interstate.
It is, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to see the long line behind us as well, but whereas you can see quite a few vehicles in front of us, we've got a long line of police cars behind us as well. The line stretches quite a ways, and it's going to be a very bright light along I-65 as we get going here. We're just now getting onto the interstate.
And Dana, that line,
my window so you can hear me a little bit better.
Oh, we can hear you, Dana, and we will be, here we are, we're going to be taking we have a live picture here, Dana, from our Department of Transportation camera. We can start to see that line that you were talking about.
And you know, you do see the cars where they've pulled over in respect, and the outpouring of support for the family of Officer Tuder no doubt will continue for months, for years.
Absolutely. A lot of his family members live in the Jacksonville area, which is where he started his law enforcement career. Was named Rookie of the Year in 2013. He was Officer of the Month for the fourth quarter there in Jacksonville, in that area. And just in 2017, he was Officer of the Month here in the Mobile area. So this is an officer who has had quite the career in just a short amount of time.
And was happy to do it. As you may recall, the photo of him with Mayor Stinson from being Officer of the Month in July of 2017. He was proud of what he did. He loved what he did. And that's what we ask of our law enforcement officers who protect us day in and day out.
You would have to love it to be able to do it, to be able to put yourself out there every single day, but knowing that you're protecting a community.
Roseanne, Devin.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm not sure if you can see it, but the Dauphin Street Bridge right above us that we're passing under right now, there's a fire truck, firefighters out and paying their respects, and families also pulled over on the side of the bridge here to pay their respects. And as we're looking at this ramp, they do have the road closed off, but many people taking the time to get out of their cars and stand out here and show their respect while they're noticing the procession going by. And as we're pulling up here, we're able to see just how big this procession is in front of us. So many people pulled off on the sides as well, and the bridge up here to Airport Boulevard that we're now coming up to has a fire truck on it as well, and it also looks like there are some people standing on the bridge paying their respects. You can see these people on the side of the road right here. This is the service road between Dauphin and Airport, and people like we saw on the roads before stopped, and they are out of their cars paying their respects to Officer Tuder.
Wow, look at that.
You know, as Aaron Billa has told you, it's unimaginable, the pain the family's going through, and they hurt, or it's always in the back of their mind of what could happen. But, and this is how our community shows its respect. We could all just wrap our arms around them. This is how we do it. This is how Mobile does it in the Gulf Coast community. Very strong. Folks are also posting tributes to Officer Tuder online. We have a restaurant locally that's doing all they can to help raise money for his funeral.
Look at that, Roseanne.
Oh, that's very moving.
Members of Mobile's Finest there on the overpass there at Airport Boulevard, and you can see the screen on your right how many cars have stopped, even ones that are not on the interstate, ones that have stopped to watch this procession go by.
It is a very powerful and moving tribute to this officer, Sean Tuder.
And Roseanne and Devin, you mentioned those cars pulling off on the side of the road. Here on the northbound side of I-65, just across the street from us, we're seeing cars pulled off on the shoulder. There are most of the cars, whereas you would usually see them zipping by us right now, they are all pulled off on the side of the shoulder, even though the procession's on this side of the interstate. Everyone over there has pulled off to show their respects as well.
You know, it's amazing how quickly word travels about the death of this officer. It happened on a Sunday afternoon, but but it doesn't take long. I mean, word just travels because people have so much respect for law enforcement, and everybody's heart just breaks over this. This young man, only 30 years old, for all these people to be pulling over, putting their hands over their heart, showing respect. It doesn't take long for people to learn about what happened and just be devastated over this news.
And we were all devastated when we were hearing about it. All I could think of is, oh no, not again.
Not again. It feels like this just happened, and it did. 11 months ago to the day, Officer Justin Billa was killed in the line of duty. And here we are again. I thought this can't be real. This just happened. And not to mention, a few weeks ago, we had a young Birmingham officer also killed in the line of duty. So when we look at law enforcement, just in the year of 2019 in this country, we have had 5 officers who have been shot to death, and that is 5 too many.
I don't know if you could see behind us.
Dana?
Or if it would work through this. Well, we're trying to show you all behind us, to show you just the long line of police cars and just how bright blue it is flashing here on I-65. It is truly an impressive sight. We've got just a train of police cars. The entire interstate, the south side is just illuminated blue. And we are, I would say, in the front half of the procession. But as we were looking behind us, we were almost up on a hill, kind of, and you could just see, as far as I could see behind me, just blue, bright lights flashing, cars pulling over, and people getting out once they realized what they were looking at.
And no doubt for his funeral, officers, law enforcement officers will come to that from all over the country, as they did with Officer Justin Billa.
They will. That's one thing we are waiting to hear about, whether he will be buried here in the Mobile area. That's something we don't know yet. We know that his body is being taken to Mobile Memorial Gardens, but he does have family in Jacksonville, Florida as well. So we are waiting for official word from Mobile Police about what type of ceremony might take place here in Mobile and whether he will be buried here. As you remember, Officer Justin Billa was buried at Mobile Memorial Gardens, and that's why a lot of people are familiar with this route, because it was just 11 months ago that Justin Billa's body was transported to Mobile Memorial Gardens.
Officer Tuder's young wife has decisions to make that no young woman should have to, regarding the death of her husband, the final arrangements. But we are all hurting and have love and are sending prayers for the family of Officer Sean Tuder, an outstanding law enforcement officer who loved what he did, carried out his job with a lot of passion.
And so many people have reached out to Chrissy on Facebook, just looking at some of the comments on her page, saying that there are no words, how heartbreaking this is, and that Sean loved what he did. His friends and family saying how much he loved what he did, and so many people are praying for her, for her family, but so many people just feeling the heartache that she is feeling right now and trying to wrap their arms around her as she tries to process exactly what happened, how this could have happened with her young husband who was so passionate about his job.
I believe we're going to take a shot from Mobile Memorial Gardens Funeral Home on 3 Notch Road, where Nicolette Schleichman is. We may check in with her later, but we are trying to get a shot of where Officer Tuder's body is being taken.
And you can see there in this live picture right here, the stationary shot where there is that American flag with the blue stripe, celebrating the family in blue alongside just regular American flags.
Okay, so this is Nicolette's shot.
So this is right outside of Mobile Memorial Gardens, and you can see people there just awaiting the procession, waiting for the body of Officer Sean Tuder to arrive there. And let's go to Nicolette. Nicolette, you have had a chance to talk today with so many people in the community who are so sad about what's happened.
Yeah, that's right, Devin. I have talked to several people out here at Mobile Memorial Gardens as well as throughout the community today, and the resounding message is that they're all just heartbroken over the loss of Officer Sean Tuder, trying to come to terms with what happened here as well. You can see already the procession. You can't even see it where we are right now, but there are people out here standing at the ready for when that procession passes by. They have the flags out ready to wave, and some of them already standing out here as well. The flags on proud display right now. A lot of young children here too, with their parents, just wanting to say their respects to Officer Tuder and all that he's done for the force, and of course making the ultimate sacrifice.
Absolutely. And Nicolette, one thing that we do need to mention is that Officer Tuder not only served the city of Mobile since 2016, but his service actually went beyond the city. He was a member of the 173rd Infantry in the Alabama National Guard. And so his infantry, his unit, it wrote on Facebook, "We are deeply saddened to learn of the loss of one of our own. In the course of his duties as a Mobile police officer, we offer our deepest condolences, support, and prayers to his family and friends, fellow soldiers, and law enforcement officials. But above all, we are immensely thankful for his service to his nation, state, community, and loved ones. We hope to honor that legacy." And that's one thing that DA Ashley Rich wanted to point out today, is not only was he showing his service to the city of Mobile, but also to his country as a member of the Alabama National Guard.
He had a true law enforcement officer's heart, a true servant's heart. He loved his country and loved being a member of the Mobile Police Department.
In fact, they posted a picture of him in his camouflage when he was with his unit with the Alabama National Guard.
And we have that on our Facebook page, WKRG's Facebook page.
As well as WKRG.com.
Also, for folks who want to express their condolences, some people are also doing that online. Nikisha Jones saying, "May the Lord wrap his everlasting arms around his family."
That's right. If you would like to go to WKRG's Facebook page and offer your condolences, you can do that. We are going to be trying to pass those along to the family of Officer Tuder. So if you would like to say a few words, please do so on the WKRG Facebook page.
Now, what you are looking at to the left of your screen is Dana Winter. She is traveling in the procession. It is live. And to the right is where Officer Tuder is being taken to Mobile Memorial Gardens Funeral Home on 3 Notch Road.
So the procession has, the beginning of the procession has made its way onto I-10, and some of the procession is still on I-65 because it is rather long. As Dana mentioned, it is a string of blue lights, so a lot of police and law enforcement vehicles in that procession, but the beginning has already made its way to I-10. And they will be probably getting off there in the next, I'd say in the next 5 minutes or less.
And all the people we have seen with their hands over their heart or their hats in their hand and all the American flags, people are also expressing themselves on our Facebook page, and they're posting, like Melanie Beiser says, "Thank you for your service," and she has about 6 or 7 American flags, other people posting American flags on our Facebook page. Tabitha Wright says, "God bless his family." Linda Wilson praying for his family, and yes, we are all doing that. Jennifer Jenkins Holmberg says, "Thank you for your service, sir. God bless."
Absolutely, and we just saw a shot that was across the street from Mobile Memorial Gardens of some young children who were out there with their parents. A lot of schools are out today for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and to see how wonderful it is for these parents to bring their children, to teach them at a young age this appreciation for law enforcement, that we honor our heroes that are right before our eyes. And I think that's great to teach them that at such a young age.
And it shows them how serious, how, oh, look at that, the little boy with a police Oh, how
look
precious.
at him with his little uniform on.
He's learning at a very young age how to respect and love our law
He
enforcement.
may be on the force one day.
He may very well.
Look
You know
at
who
him.
he reminds me of?
He reminds you of Taylor Billa, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Little Taylor Billa, the son of Officer Justin Billa, and Aaron. When the baby was born, they had some pictures taken with Justin's police hat on, and he's had various costumes over the year, just like his daddy.
Dana, can you tell us where specifically you are now?
Right now we are on I-10 and we are getting off onto the Dauphin Island Tillman's Corner exit. It's exit 7A-B here off of I-10. And you know, even though I-10 is a very busy interstate, it's, you know how fast cars go on it. We've seen patches of I-10 where all of the cars are stopped and people are getting out of their cars to pay their respects to Officer Tuder. And it looks like right now we're going to be taking the Tillman's Corner exit here off of the interstate. So we'll be taking 193 north, and you can see the cars right now. They're starting to take the turn, so we're starting to get off the interstate. It will be quite a while before we finish getting off the interstate. Like I said, we're in the front third of the procession. You can see the ambulance with Officer Tuder, and then up there, that's the ambulance that will be taking him to the gardens that we are going to. But the line of cars behind us is still on I-10. It will probably be there for a while. You can see our leader car all the way up there. We're just now about to make it onto the new roadway, and it's really honestly been impressive, Devin and Roseanne, to see such a strong showing of community support all along the route, whether it be on the sides of the interstate, people just pulled off out of their cars. We actually saw one woman, she was crying outside of her car, and it looked like she was holding a flag as well. So it's just a really beautiful showing of the community coming together to honor our fallen officer.
Folks are doing all they can to show their support there by taking time out of their day to stop and show respect for Officer Tuder. They're doing so online on our Facebook page. So many praying hands.
I know.
So many praying hands, so many hearts, so many tears. Jennifer Ramirez has a heart with someone crying, the emoji crying face, saying senseless. Melanie, she thanks him for his service. Letisa Calloway says so sad. Linda Wilson praying for his family.
And one woman just commented that she was the widow of a police officer back in 1992, so her heart is breaking all over again as she watches this.
Here.
She knows what Chrissy Tuder is going through.
And the comments are just pouring in from
Up
so
here,
many
Devin and
people.
Roseanne, we've got another large grouping of people.
Tell us about that, Dana.
Another large grouping of people, several people holding flags out here on both the right and the left sides. They are truly lining the street here as we're getting closer. We're on 193 now. There's a man in uniform as well saluting his fallen brother. We've got many people on the sides of the streets. Several of them, as we were getting on to the roadway here, were holding large American flags, and also the flags with the blue stripe indicative of police officers. But you can just see people of all ages here in Mobile out here on the sides of the road, lots of them with their hands over their heart honoring Officer Tuder. There's a large number of people here. What we were seeing before it really doesn't compare to what we're seeing now, and the number is just getting bigger and bigger, and we're seeing more flags as we're coming up here as well. So we are about to take another turn here onto another road. There's another big intersection we're coming to where traffic is closed as well. And there's also, we see an ambulance here on the right side of the street, another Mobile police officer with officers and personnel out here saluting Officer Tuder. And so now we've made the turn and we're getting closer. We're on 90 now. here. We've made that turn, and you just see more people, again, of all ages, standing by the sides of the road, some up where their cars are parked and standing on the backs of their trucks to try to get a better view of the procession as it goes by.
And the outpouring of support does make a difference when you're suffering a loss.
It really does, because so many people just want you to know how much they support you, and hopefully his family can watch this and feel that tiny little ounce of comfort. I mean, nothing will bring him back. When you look at this picture on the right side of your screen, that young, handsome officer with so much passion and so much energy, nothing will bring him back. But when you look on the left side of your screen and you see all these people coming out saying, thank you, we appreciate you, we appreciate your sacrifice, and they appreciate the law enforcement officers who are still with us today doing this job with their whole hearts. That makes a difference. That matters. In fact, somebody on Facebook, and I remember this hashtag after Justin Billa died, Back the Blue. And that's what people are doing right now, backing the blue.
And they are all over the Gulf Coast, not just here.
That's right. And they're taking a right here. I believe this is 3 Notch Road. This is in the Tillman's Corner area. And they will be coming up to the cemetery on their right. Pretty sure this is 3 Notch Road. It's a little bit hard to see. Is this 3 Notch Road here, Dana, with the Walgreens right there on the right?
It may be. I saw a sign for Old Pascagoula Road. It looks like this may be Old Pascagoula. I'm not too great with the roads around here.
It's a little tricky at that intersection.
It may be 3 Notch Road.
I think it is. And on your right,
we are on 3 Notch?
Yeah,
okay, we are on 3 Notch.
And then you can see on your right our picture from Mobile Memorial Gardens. Dana, as you'll see in just a couple of minutes or less, you'll be coming up on a whole lot of people who are outside lining the streets. That cemetery is going to be on your right.
I believe we're starting to see some of them, Devin. We've got a bunch of people out here. We've got some flags as well, and on our left side we also saw some flags hanging as well, and a large grouping of people. We're definitely starting to see more cars packed into areas and people standing in groups, and more signs as well. We're coming up on a blue sign. This sign says, thank you for your service. So a lot of people in the community coming out to, like you said, really back the blue and thank these officers for everything that they do, and especially Officer Tuder for making the ultimate sacrifice that he did.
And you just saw the first law enforcement vehicle there as it has reached Mobile Memorial Gardens, and there is a string of about what looked to be, I'd say, 10 to 15 cars, Roseanne, before the ambulance carrying his body.
Devin, so many comments are coming in online. It's very moving. People from other states are watching our coverage of this online and calling him a true hero, and letting us know that they are praying and sending love, not just for the family, but for our community, which we're hurting. And according to one of the messages, we're told that the family is watching this. And if you are, just know that we love you. We thank you for all you do and all you did to provide such a patriot to our community.
That's right. Know that you did a wonderful job raising this young officer with such patriotism, with such bravery, to go in what can be a dangerous place and try to make an arrest on a daily basis, but yesterday in particular. Thank you for what you have done. And you just saw the ambulance pass by there on the right on 3 Notch Road as it's turning into Mobile Memorial Gardens. So many people lining the sides of the road there with their hands over their hearts.
We all wish we could do more to help this family. Someone just quoted a beautiful scripture, praying for family, praying for comfort for the family on our Facebook page. Folks sending love. Texas, other states.
That was what was so amazing to see people make comments and show their support from just about every state in this country.
Yeah.
When an officer is killed, everybody feels it. It becomes a news headline in every single state because so many people do back the blue and appreciate the job they do every single day. There are so many people who do not show regard for law enforcement, yet these officers are protecting them as well.
Absolutely. That's a very good point. May his memory be eternal, says Gigi Halstead up here in Jacksonville, Florida. Thank you for your service. And that's where he's from.
Yes, and it's just remarkable to receive an Officer of the Month award. When he came here in 2016 to be awarded that the next year in 2017. That is a huge honor. There are hundreds of officers on the Mobile Police Force in 1 month, making 13 felony arrests, 55 misdemeanor arrests, responding to 110 calls in 1 month of July in 2017. This is an officer who was hustling.
He was being very thorough in doing his job. Love from Birmingham, love from Pensacola for the family, prayers from Cantonment, Florida, all over our country.
And so it looks like that we're seeing this procession get backed up just a little bit as it streams into Mobile Memorial Gardens.
Yeah, Devin, Roseanne, it looks like they're going around to the back of the building here, and they've directed us over to where we've parked our car, and it looks like they're going to have us maybe perhaps walk the rest of the way. The cars all seem to stop at this point.
His friends are also watching from Jacksonville, saying that one gentleman mentioned that he grew up with Sean and he would always make him laugh.
Oh, isn't that sweet? Oh my gosh. Well, he had a contagious smile. That's for sure.
Earth holds no sorrow that heaven can't heal. One of the posts.
So again, you're seeing these Mobile police officers file into Mobile Memorial Gardens. The ambulance will go to the back or the side of this facility. There's the chapel there in the front. And we will be awaiting word on when his memorial service will take place, what will happen here in Mobile, where he will be buried. Those are questions that we have not received answers to as of yet, as they are sort of working out all of those arrangements.
We have someone from Louisiana sending love. Prayers from Bruton. And folks are saying, yes, it is so sad, it's heartbreaking, but people are also feeling a strong sense of pride watching our community and the outpouring of love for Officer Tuder. He is not originally from Mobile, but he'll always be a part of Mobile.
That's right. He is a part of the Gulf Coast, and this is what the Gulf Coast does best, is wrap their arms around members of the law enforcement community. You have been watching this escort for Officer Sean Tuder, and we are going to be watching as officers have gathered at the funeral home at the back of the ambulance that is carrying his body. And you can see members there of, I believe, the Alabama National Guard, which he is a member of.
Okay. We're told that the family has asked that we not show the coffin, so we will not be showing the coffin. They have released a statement asking for privacy as they are devastated right now.
Absolutely.
We also just got someone sending love from San Diego. It's coming in from all over. I pray that this family can find comfort in knowing, as you mentioned, there's some sliver of comfort.
Right.
From knowing that he will always be with us.
So what we're going to focus on right now is these lines, dozens of law enforcement members there gathered at the funeral home. Again, we're not going to be showing you the coffin that is carrying his body, but we do want to focus on these officers who are there in this time of need. We just saw Public Service Director there as well, James Barber. And so we're going to continue showing you this procession as they do remove the coffin from the ambulance.
The family making the statement that they appreciate the outpour of thoughts, prayers, and support over the loss of their beloved Sean, but they are asking for privacy. They said he is our hero and a patriot. We are proud of him, and though they are asking for privacy, they are asking for continued prayers for his wife and his family. And that is something the Gulf Coast does very well.
Yes, they do.
Jim Gilmore praying for God's grace for Sean's family. And people are not just praying for the family, but all of our law enforcement officers.
It must be so difficult for them to stand there right now as they watch one of their brothers.
Very stoically. Rest in peace. San Diego prayers go out to his family. He did so much good.
And knowing these officers, it could have been any one of them. It just happened to be Officer Tuder who responded to a call yesterday at the Peach Place Inn Apartments. It could have been any one of them.
And he was a young officer, but he had a good bit of experience under his belt. And this wasn't the first time he has been confronted with...
No, in fact, we're working on a story for 6 o'clock tonight, how when he was in the Jacksonville area, he was responding to a burglary call, and a teenager pointed a rifle at him. And actually, he heard the teenager loading that rifle. And he fired his gun and shot the teenager. The teenager is okay, is alive. But no, this is not the first time.
There you see those officers saluting their brother. And we are not showing you the casket or the coffin out of respect for the family. That was their wish that we not show it.
And you can see now they are all in a salute pose.
Prayers coming from Houston, Texas, from Sarah Powell. People want to wrap the family and pray that the Lord do so with his loving arms.
And we would always recommend that you reach out to your local police precinct. Tell them thank you for the job that they do every day, keeping all of us safe. You have been watching this live coverage here on WKRG of the escort for Officer Sean Tuder as his body was taken to Mobile Memorial Gardens.
Now, we are getting ready to wrap up our on-air coverage, but we will continue coverage online on our Facebook page and WKRG.com.
That's right. We are posting tributes to Officer Tuder, so we invite many of you to go on WKRG's Facebook page and speak your heart and what you'd like to say to the family. We have provided a place for you to do that. And we want to thank all of you for joining us this afternoon for this special coverage in honor of Officer Sean Tuder. I'm Devin Walsh.
I'm Roseanne Haven. We will see you back here tonight at 5.
And we will have much more coverage in our newscast tonight on WKRG News 5 at 5, 6, and 9 o'clock on the CW, as well as 10 o'clock on WKRG.
Okay, are we going to stay with the coverage a little longer? Okay, I think we're going to stay online a little bit longer. I mean, on air. Is that right?
Yes, we are going to stay on air just for a couple of minutes longer as we are waiting for law enforcement to leave Mobile Memorial Gardens. But you have been with us over the last hour as we've watched the city of Mobile really come together as the ambulance left. The USA Department of Forensic Sciences drove all the way down Spring Hill Avenue onto I-65, then I-10, then Range Line, and then here to 3 Notch Road as the body of Officer Sean Tuder was brought to this location.
There you see the ambulance there that carried his body is open, so he has been taken in and the officers are no longer in their salute pose, all still with very heavy hearts, as this is going to continue to be a very difficult process for his family. As they said, they are devastated. They always knew that there was a chance and that he knew that this could happen. But even then, you never really think it will.
I know it. I know you think this is a chance that I'm willing to take because the good, you can do so much good in this job, and that's what he was all about. They called him a hero. They called him a patriot.
A patriot indeed. And we thank you so much for watching our coverage. We will continue our coverage online on WKRG.com and on Facebook Live. Actually, I'm told we are not. We are wrapping up our coverage now.
That's right, right here on WKRG, and we'll be preparing everything for our 5 o'clock newscast. We want to thank all of you for watching, and we'll see you tonight for WKRG News 5 at 5.
See you.